was like, whoa.
It is what it is. This episode is presented by Underdog. If you're new to Underdog, today's the day. Get $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you play just $5 on fantasy with code It Is What It Is. So for divisional weekend, Underdog's adding a gimme pick on a QB of your choice from any of the wildcard games to get started. So Underdog is available right now in most states, including Florida, Texas, and California, just to name a few. So make sure y'all support the show, hit that subscribe button, lock in your bonus, and start playing today with code It Is What It Is. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts Mace and Cam, and today we are joined with our analyst Michael Irvin.
Killer Mike, what's good, man? What's going on?
I'm good, man. Mike, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great, man. Just happy to be here, man. That's it. Just happy to be here.
Good, good.
Mike, you trying to be a part of the Quarter Zip Nation or what?
Yeah, I know, man. No, what it is, now let me be real with you. What it is it's cold outside here. So when I go work out, I go in my heavy closet. I got to put on the sweaters. And then when I get out of there, I just want to throw something on. And you know, the quarter zip's just easy. It's just an easy throw on. You got to tighten that up, you zip, and you go. So yeah, it's just been, yeah, I just guess and you know what else too? This is in the area of my closet. I was ready to throw this stuff away, but I haven't had time to. And now since it's all coming back, I'm like, see, this is why I don't throw away nothing. It always comes back.
Yo, Mike,
I mean?
That was a mean flex you just did. You said when I go in my heavy closet. that means several closets. When I go in my heavy closet, I like that.
Yeah, this is in the. Yeah, you got different closets. I got different closets. Yeah, don't y'all got that? Everybody got that, right?
I mean, yeah, I have a house. I have about 5-6 closets in the house to live by myself. So yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And you know, I'm kind of getting like that too. But dog, I'm just messing with people. I remember when a nigga had no closet and all the dirty clothes were piled up in a bundle on a sheet, and you used to tie the ends together because you didn't have no basket. You didn't have no laundry basket. You put everything on the sheet. You tied them two ends and then these two ends. And I mean, that's what it was. I used to have to, because, you know, I'm the 15th or 17th. So it wasn't like I had clothes pressed out, put together right so I can go to school. Man, I used to have to open that dirty bungle and grab them dirty clothes, nigga, and put them on. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
No, Mike, listen, I've been there. I've been there too, but what we not going to do is we not going to have survivor's remorse. We not going to explain why we got a heavy closet.
No.
Yeah, we not going to explain.
Yeah, right. No.
I'm not having.
Yeah, you see, I ain't participate.
Let me tell you, I swear, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all this. I swear, I know we got to get to this show. I'm going to tell y'all this, and I swear I ain't never really telling anybody this, but because, you know, you this big in the family, you know, and okay, your mom, it ain't really watching you all the time. You can kind of sneak in and sneak out, you know, and I used to. Young dude, you wet the bed a little bit, right? And you got supposed to clean yourself up. Now, I didn't clean myself up all the way. I'll never forget when they started busting us out. They bust me all the way out there, and this was a little lady. Man, this mug.
Wait, Mike?
Her name was Miss Doris. Miss Doris said to me, I must have been in second, third grade. She looked at me, she said, hey, boy, we got to get you. Boy, you smell like piss. I was like, wait a minute.
Mike, you was 7 years old peeing in the bed?
Oh my God, dog. I swear, dog. And I thought I cleaned myself up better. You know what I'm saying? I was in there, you know, because you trying to hide it. I'm trying to hide it, clean myself up, and get to school. And I guess I didn't clean myself up right. And Miss Doris, she pulled me in there. Dude, listen, to this day, She stained me. That's why I got all these clauses.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna never not have it again.
Yeah.
She
Nah.
stained me with that, man. I'll never forget that, boy. She said, because she was basically saying, they busting you out here, boy. You making us look bad. You smell like piss. And she cleaned me up. She would
Yeah.
clean me up and put me in school, man. I don't know why I shared that, man. That
Nah,
was,
that's
yeah.
well, that's good to know. Cause listen, it's funny. My mother, she was happy that she didn't have to get bused. But people don't know what that bus era was like. Getting bussed out,
Right.
when schools were starting to get was already segregated, and that's another topic for another day. But that was really something. Think about just having to get from a black neighborhood and being like, yo, we're gonna start to segregate schools. Get on this bus and drive 15 miles to this all-white school. And my mother always used to talk
All
about
of them
that.
kids.
Yes, right.
Yeah, all of them kids. And they were all fun. Dude, I'm gonna tell you, I swear I thought I was the dumbest person in the world when I went out there, man. I never even thought about it. The lady said, who knows their colors? Everyone in white kids raised their hand. I'm actually way down. I don't know no colors. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who knows how to spell your name? See, because they had all the preschools and we didn't have that stuff, man. It was, yeah. That was a little shock to the nervous system.
Culture shock.
Yeah. It's definitely a deeper
Yeah, a
discussion, but
culture shock.
hopefully we can hear more stories from you over time because it is interesting to hear. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to start. So after 19 seasons, Mike Tomlin stepped down as coach from the Steelers. So we discussed this a little bit last episode, but Mike, we got to know your opinion. Do you think it was time? And then what do you think is next for Mike Tomlin?
Anything Mike Tomlin wants to do, and I'm gonna go backwards and talk about what's next. He can have, he can do. He can take an opportunity to coach somebody because there's so many openings right now. Or what people have been talking about. A lot of people have been talking about is he can take a year off and get into TV and just take a break. But I love the way that the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Rooney family allowed this to transpire, and I love the way he handled it by walking in himself and not putting anybody through it. And I guess, when you hear fan base saying, fire, and all of the disappointment from the fan base, the boos and everything, he's a man of pride, and he just, okay, he steps away. The question is, when you look through it all, is how much, how much, how much input did he have on the quarterback situation? Because that's what stopped him from going anywhere. It's the quarterback situation, and just how much input did he have in it all the way through? You know what I mean? But a hell of a Hall of Fame career, and wherever Mike wants to go, Mike can write his ticket and go. And yeah, but it was time. It was time, and I'm glad he got to do it on his terms.
Yeah, I think I agree with you to the extent of saying that he did it on his own terms. But the writing was on the wall. He knew it was coming, pause. He knew if he didn't do it, they was going to do it for him. It's not like he just went in there and just said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do this. The Bulls indicated this time. The losses indicated this time. And, great shout out to him for having a Hall of Fame career. But I don't want to be insensitive to the people that are paying him this money. They're paying him to get a job done. And if you don't get the job done, you got to get out of there. So I think this was perfect timing to a degree, right? Because he's able to get ahead of the bad situation. But he's also got major options. I mean, right now, you could take Mike Tomlin and put him in, the Baltimore Ravens system, and all of a sudden he got to a better situation than he was already in, to me. So I look at it like that. We got the 19 years. You got 13 years of him playing well and making the playoffs. But I think when it comes down to it, he got ahead of it. We talked about it earlier this week on the show, that this was where it was going. I think Killer brought it up, and if I'm not correct. He brought it up that, it was going to get to this place where they was going to say it's a mutual agreement, and this is exactly where it ended up. So I give him a shout out for getting ahead of it. That's what you should do if it's something out there that you want to get ahead of. You don't want to wait until it's at your doorstep. And he couldn't wait another day. I don't think with all of this going on, all the other coaches moving. They threw Mike in the portal. He knew his name was going in the portal, so he got ahead of it. So shout out to Mike Tomlin for getting ahead of it before they throw you in the portal, and bless him on his future, because I know he'll end up going to I think he's going to end up at the Baltimore Ravens, and it's going to be better for him.
Yeah.
He got the quarterback he needs to move forward. So shout out to Mike.
I gave my opinion on this. We just want to really see what you said, Mike.
Right, but let me ask this, and here's just a thought here, and I don't know, and that's why I'm asking it, and I thought about it when Mace was talking just then. Like, when you step down, doesn't that mean you forgo the money that they owe you? If they fire you, they still have to pay you. And I think he had, I don't know, we'll check the
16
numbers. Maybe he
million.
had a year or two. Yeah, right. So, but if you step down, then that means you keep your money. I'm just gonna step away, right? So that hangs in the balance. I don't think they owe him that money if he steps down. They owe him that money if he would. So for 16 million, I don't care how proud I am, nigga. You gonna say you fired? Thank you. Give my money. Let me get out of here. You see what I'm saying? So, but if you step up and say, that's a hell of a thing. So I don't know how that plays out. But I just thought about it when Mace was talking. Like, okay, if I'm stepping down and I leave that 16 million, because that's back pay. Or if you were picking those quarterbacks, I told you we should have got him, and you took him. Give me my money, let me go. I could have taken that approach. But I'll check and see if that's the way. If he steps down, do you forfeit that money?
Yeah. Very interesting perspective. Okay, so moving along, now we got to talk about the Ravens. So the Ravens owner, it seemed like he had a lot of fun. Steve Bisciotti at his first press conference in about 7 years. So he said a lot of things. So I want us to go and kind of break down some of the things that he said, starting with John Harbaugh. So a reporter asked him, if Tyler Loop made that field goal, is John Harbaugh still here coaching? He responded, for a week. He also responded to comments from Tony Dungy saying, this was a bad decision. Good luck finding somebody better than John. He said he wanted to call Tony and say, you remember John from 18 years ago? How can you take our success and use it against me while we're out here trying to find the next John Harbaugh? That's impossible. So, Mike, see, you laughed at some of the things that he had to say. What do you make of his comments regarding the coach?
Well, that's a lot of that. There's a lot into all of that, And Coach Harbaugh, first of all, talking about Coach Tomlin, that would be insane. And it suggests, which I think is interesting and I don't think will happen, okay, go get the brother. He can work with the brother better than you. And I'm talking about, because you got a black quarterback, go get the brother to work with that brother better than you, because there's a lot of things going on in Baltimore. I thought it was one time Lamar trying to get out, and I thought Lamar was trying to get back to Miami. I still want to believe that. And if he wants to get out, he has to have an issue with somebody, and that he didn't think they would get rid of, and maybe that was John. And then all of a sudden they got rid of John, and Lamar maybe maybe he's happy in Baltimore, but maybe he really wanted to get to Miami. But what if John go get the Miami job? And then, there's so much in that right there, because there's so many openings, man, and so many. This thing's going to fall out. It's going to be an interesting fallout on who lands with who. But that would be interesting to see. Bisciotti goes over and hire Mike Tomlin, and you give him this brother quarterback. And one thing he's always been great with is dealing with his players. This is the guy where, you got Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, and, they were pretty straight when they were with him. Things kind of went off the wire when they left him. So he has a reputation of being great with people. It would be interesting to see him in Baltimore. It really would be interesting. But John Harbaugh is going to get another job. And what they mean by finding another John Harbaugh 18 years ago, finding somebody that's young and on a cutting edge trying to cut in. And that's what John was on the defensive side. I thought that he's looking for maybe a John Harbaugh on the offensive side 18 years ago, trying to go find one of these offensive geniuses or great guy to bring in a great system to help Lamar get over that hump, is what I thought he was considering.
Yeah, so what do you think of the owner's comments regarding the coach? Because he basically said, if Tyler Loop made the field goal, would he still be around? He said for a week, and then basically he was offended by Tony. Not offended, but he didn't really like Tony Dungy's comments about saying finding a new Harbaugh because he had found Harbaugh from the ground up.
Well,
the same thing Mace was saying about your boy.
Yeah.
Right. 7 days, you would have been right back here again. Right.
Yeah, I think the writing again. There's several teams that were all on the clock, right? And every team that was on the clock, if they didn't perform this year, is going to be up, and things are going to change for them. I would even go as far as saying Buffalo was another one of those teams. So whether we're talking about the Ravens, whether we're talking about who else was there, what's the other team where the Bills
Steelers,
is definitely one of those teams. The Steelers are one of those teams. These are teams that had to win this year because of everything that happened previously. So when it comes down to that, they only had one other young coach he could have been talking about, and that's the new Miami head coach. And I don't think that would have happened because he doesn't seem like he's Harbaugh material, but that's the closest thing to that statement. So I don't know what he's talking about realistically.
Excuse me. Well, yesterday we had Maurice on the show, and I was saying, it was a great show. Shout out to Maurice. And I was saying yesterday, if Mike Tomlin go to the Baltimore Ravens, nigga, we might as well make this the new logo. That shit gonna be blackly black. Then it should be motherfucking Mike Tomlin in the middle, Derrick Henry on this side, Lamar Jackson on this side, and niggas coming through like this. I said that's gonna be some black on black shit, and niggas will love it. And I said that's what I want to see. I want to see him go to the Baltimore Ravens and say hello to the Pittsburgh Steelers twice a year. Yeah, I'm over here, and I was real excited about it. But I thought about it, right? Between yesterday and today, and I'm not saying that Mike Tomlin wouldn't take the job, because now let me finish this statement, because the owner's wild. The owner's a wild nigga. But excuse me, I think that the Rooneys treated Mike Tomlin really, really good. I know Mike Tomlin stepped down, so I think Mike Tomlin is as attractive, and don't get me wrong, I have no knowledge of this, as attractive as the Baltimore job is.
That's great,
yeah, attractive as the Baltimore job is, with an MVP quarterback, a future Hall of Fame running back with Derrick Henry. You wouldn't go in the division because it isn't like y'all left on bad terms. And the Rooneys are great owners. So you don't want to throw that in their face like, I'm coming over here, because it isn't even like they fired you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if they kicked you out the building, but you don't want to sit there and be disrespectful to people who actually treated you good for the last 19 seasons.
Correct.
So that's the only reason. When I thought about it today, I'm like, damn, nigga, we would love to see that as black people. Nigga, Tomlin, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, nigga, that advertisement would be crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? But the Rooneys was too good, so I don't think that he would do that to the Rooneys. As far as the owner for the Baltimore Ravens, that's a wild nigga. Listen, man, I see why he ain't do a press conference in 7 years. He gives off racism. You know what I'm saying? That nigga, the way he be talking and shit, and I don't want to even use racism, because John Harbaugh isn't even black. He was talking slick about John Harbaugh, and he was basically like, whatever. If basically if they made the playoffs, will he still have his job? And he's like, well, he basically said he'd have his job till whatever we get bumped out the playoffs. You know, he said another week. But he basically said that nigga was out of here, like it or not. That's just that. He wasn't going to. He almost might as well said only thing that might have kept him here was a Super Bowl. But he said some other statements I know Stat is going to get to, but I don't think that he's going to stay. But I don't think that Mike Tomlin's going to go there. I would love for him to, but I think the Rooney's been too good to him. Back to John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh actually got the job with the Giants. He's going to be the coach of the New York Giants. So,
did it just announce it?
We'll get more into it, but basically, yes. It's
yeah, Mike. That's what I do, Mike. I'm giving you information.
Right.
I'm letting you know something.
Yeah, you are. I didn't even hear that one.
Yeah.
But let me say this though, because you know what, man, you so dead ass on Rooney, on the Rooneys, man. You're so right, dog. And that's one of the things I thought about. And I didn't dive into it deep, but you're so right. They gave him the time to do it his way, and they gave him time to get it right. To get it right. They gave him a lot of years in the playoffs, man. I just like that you gave up that and acknowledged them for that, because I thought that was an incredible thing. And I don't care what they say. I know you got a nickname named Killer Nigga, but you got a heart up in there. I appreciate your head. I appreciate you saying that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Yo, Mike is funny.
Nah, you can't do that to the Rooneys. I mean, like I said, you know,
Right,
but even though
Rooneys are for us, they for us.
yeah, they for the black
Rooneys
people.
are for us.
Listen, they got
They
the
for
shit.
people.
They actually got the shit.
The rule is the Rooney
I was
rule.
just about to say it's called the Rooney
Right,
Rule.
that's what I'm saying,
Exactly.
B.
Exactly.
Right, B.
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie. I love you coming up with that, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's real.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we were talking about Mike Tomlin, let's discuss his quotes about that before we go to what he said about Lamar Jackson. So, of course, people were kind of asking him, like, do you actually see him as being a potential candidate? And we're seeing more of his personality and how he reacts to things. So he says, holy shit, wouldn't that be awesome? Only if John takes the Pittsburgh job, which now we know from Cam that's not going to be happening. But he said then after seeing Mike Tomlin doing all this last week, he'd probably be disqualified from the job. But from what we've seen from his personality and how he's answering these questions and navigating the conversation, like, do you see that as sarcasm? Do you see that as actual truth? Or do you think he's just playing around? Like, do you actually see that as something? Or you think, like, nah, at this point it's too far gone for Mike Tomlin to even potentially be a candidate for the Ravens coach position?
What was interesting is that he said, well, if John takes the other position, then maybe so. As if, well, we had a great relationship, and he was saying what Cam just said about the Rooneys and everything. But that's not the situation. Like, they were saying, you know, hey, they just made a phone call and said, nigga, don't come in. I mean, John, don't come in. We fight. You see what I'm saying? So they didn't even let the man come to the office, right? They just told you, stay in the bed, don't get out of there, since you couldn't get us out of the regular season. You know what I'm saying? You could get us. So yeah, that's what was interesting to that. Well, you know, and for him, because it sounds like in one point, they have beef or they have a little issue. And then in that point, you come back and say, well, if John take the other job, if you got issues with him, you know, most dudes are going to take the job because, you know, we acted funny when we left this thing. You know, and that's why I was saying it's the opposite of what went on in Pittsburgh. So, yeah, but you're right. It's interesting that you brought up he hadn't done interviews in 7 years, because they hire people. They hire PR people. And obviously, the PR people help you. Like, listen, we can help you this way. You're not doing any more interviews.
Right. That's what I got. That's exactly what I took from that shit. PR told that nigga, the PR people said, just stay away from a microphone. That's what I took from that.
Done.
When I see them talk and Stat read that, to me, that's exactly what I thought, Mike, what you just said. That the PR team was like, yo, keep this nigga away from the cameras and the microphone, because he's a PR nightmare for the Baltimore Ravens. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's it. You're right. That's all I was talking about.
Yeah. And then Mace, do you see it as sarcasm, or do you think, like, potentially it could actually happen?
No, I don't think it could happen.
You said that's that.
No.
It's clipped.
I think real quick, I don't think it could happen, but back to what the owner was saying, Like, that owner's crazy. So he was so basically, you know, just for clarity, for some people who may not understand what we're saying. The owner basically was asked, just found out in real time when Mike Tomlin left Pittsburgh. Right. So he was asked, would you hire Mike Tomlin? And then basically he said, holy shit. That's exactly what he said. Like, not even verbal.
Exactly.
He said, holy shit. Right. And it looked like his light bulbs was clicking. He was like, damn, maybe. Then he says, well, if John takes the Pittsburgh job, then we'll hire, maybe we'll take Mike. Then he says, well, maybe after what happened to him last week, we won't take him. Basically, that nigga was like, nah, that nigga lost the same way we lost. We don't really want to fuck with that nigga neither. Like, that nigga's wild, yo.
In real time.
Yeah, in real time. Like, so.
In real time.
Yeah, so basically, that's why I was like, it ain't even really racist. This nigga just gonna say what's on his mind. He's a rich nigga because we know he's an owner. And basically, he's not going to hold no punches. But like Mike said, I thought that was a great take, Mike. You have a PR team for a reason, and the PR team basically says, get away from the microphone, stay away from the cameras. But basically, they had the same head coach for the last 17, 18 years, so it was really no reason to approach the media for the last however many years. So maybe that's why he's been away, but now it's time for him to say something about firing John.
Yeah.
And you can imagine, Cam, what was happening, Cam, right? Like, so you can imagine, right? So they made them give the PR team made them, the interviewer, give us the questions. Right. Had all the questions, prepped him with it, and then the story broke.
Right.
So when the story broke and she interjected, the PR team said, "Oh shit, we didn't get this question." You know they were going crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
I could imagine. I could see that, man. That's funny, man. Oh my God. Yep. That's funny.
I will just add the opposite perspective real quick, because it's interesting how because I think we're all in unison of how we perceived it. It's just like, maybe you should kind of take him away from the mic. But there's also a whole nother half of people who are like, I love this energy from him. He's raw. He's honest. Like, he needs to be in front of a mic more. So it's interesting how he can kind of, I want to say get away with it, but it's like, if some other people did that, it would be viewed very differently. But for whatever reason, for him, there's like a big split of people who are just like, we want to see more from him. So
to be honest, to your point, Stat, it was raw and uncut.
Yeah,
you know,
which it was. Yeah.
I mean, it was raw and uncut, man. It was something different that we don't usually see from our owner. So yeah.
Right. Okay, but let me interject this. Let me interject. So we, especially we, as the understand, being raw and uncut don't mean just because you like it is good. This man got a whole big $1 billion business to run. We measuring it on street level. Dude, we're real, nigga. That nigga real, nigga. Get out of here with that. He talking about his $1 billion business. That's what his PR team is talking about. We are running this up here, not raw and uncut and losing money down here. I just wanted to drop that out because sometimes us as people think, be raw and real. Be raw and real. Okay. He can be raw and real and mess up. You be raw and real, you're going to be raw, real broke. Messing around. Be smart.
Mike, what I will say to that is this. He ain't more raw than the president. We voted for the president. The numbers. I'm just saying, we voted. He ain't nowhere near the president, not raw and uncut. Yeah. That's a different one. I'm just telling you what direction the country's going in, Mike.
And those are also still real different pockets. I will add that. Okay, so last quote from this press conference that I want to talk about before we move on. So he was asked, how much of a say will Lamar Jackson have in the head coach selection? He responded, a lot of say, but he has no power. I have the power. They have opinions and I want them all. I care about my players very much, but I can't give them power. Mike, what's your opinion on that perspective?
It's oxymoronic. To be honest with you,
that's this week's work.
It's contradicting. It's contradicting. If you have a say, then you have some power. You're taking his counsel. That means you're spending time to take his counsel, and you're going to make a decision, and you're going to consider the things that he said. Then that's power. He just didn't say it right. He says, obviously, I'm going to take his counsel, but I get the final decision is a better way to say it. And that's what we're talking about. His PR team is probably there. But if I give you leeway in the way I think, then you got power. You have power. You're altering the way I think. So it makes no sense to me. I try to make sure the people that can't advance my future not have any power. So why am I listening to you? If I listen to you in any way, is it going to help advance me personally? That's how you consider everything that you hear on the social media. And you going crazy, you got to respond to this, respond to that, respond. Just respond where you got a response to somebody, and that somebody can help advance you personally. Anybody else, that means you talking backwards. So for him to say that is oxymoronic. It's not reality. You can't say he has a say but have no power. He has power when he has a say into your brain before you make the decision. That's all I'm saying. So I just think he needs a better way of saying things.
Yeah, I totally agree with what he's saying. Actually, Mike, I don't believe it's oxymoronic. I think this is the time that we're in where black people are allowed to speak, but they don't really have power. I think is exactly what he was saying. Like, I'm gonna let you talk, but I'm not gonna go with anything you're saying. I think that's a valid stance that a lot of people have, where they let people talk, but they're not gonna consider actually what they're saying. They're letting them talk so they could say that they were heard, but they were never heard. The decision that they were gonna make that decision whether they talked or not. I believe this. I believe this wholeheartedly. I don't even believe this like a little bit. My whole heart, I believe this. I believe him saying, like, because you're the quarterback, I gotta make you feel like you're heard. But I'm I'm not gonna listen to what you're talking about. You smoking weed, you doing all of this. Boy, I'm not. Yeah, I got a business to run, and that's that. And we call it a lot of things, but I think that's what it boils down to. Just like we're sitting here, right, talking about this, right? But there's a lot of things going on. If we was to talk about it, there's people that will listen, and there are people that won't listen because they don't feel like
Right. And
our
the only
voices
thing,
matter
right. But
on that
the only
subject.
thing pushback I got on it before Cam
Hmm.
go, one quick pushback is this. The thing was that I heard there were issues between John and Lamar, and now and the question was who was going to be gone. Lamar wanted to go to Miami, and John, and obviously you made the decision to fire the man that had been there for 18 years, or been there for much longer than Lamar, right? So you're not working with him every day. It's Lamar that's working with him every day. So whatever Lamar said to you, obviously got him up out of here. So now don't come back to me and tell me he doesn't have any power. See, I believe he's trying to say that so you can believe he didn't get John fired. He ain't got no power. He ain't get John fired. It wasn't really talking about he wasn't gonna have any power on who he hired. I thought he was saying he really don't have any power, so he ain't really the one. I can't tell you he the one that told me to fire John. You see what I'm saying? I'm just that's what I kind of assess and say when I heard it. That's just me, my thoughts.
Oh yeah, I totally get where you were coming from. I just 100% believe the opposite. I believe we're in a place where even though people are making certain amount of money, they don't have a voice in the real conversation. That's why we got to watch what we say. When you really have power, you don't have to watch what you say. Even no matter how
Right.
crazy we talk, we still, to a degree, watching what we say. When you don't care, you can say whatever you want to whoever you want, wherever you want, and it doesn't matter. And that's not what we see. We see a lot of selective power. That's what I believe.
I think both of you make great points. I think
Right.
both of you points are valid. I just didn't like when the nigga said if Lamar want to be a part of this process, he better bring his ass down here. That's exact words. He said he better bring his ass down here if he wants to be part of this, because this is long days every day with these interviews. So if he want to be about a part of the process, his ass better be here. And I called Lamar and told him, bring your ass here if you really want to be a part of hiring the coach. And I'm like, yo, this nigga's wild, yo.
That's what I'm talking about.
I know what now.
This nigga's wild, yo. That's how I took this shit. Bring your ass down here if you want to really be part about this shit. I said, that's a wild nigga right there. That's why I was saying I thought it was a little come off racist, but he talking about John Harbaugh the same way. So it wasn't racist. It's just the type of nigga that he is, man.
Yeah, he talks. I know. That's funny.
Yeah,
man.
it's almost like the Rooney Rule, right? Like he made a rule where he says at least one black person gotta be interviewed. That's not, to me, I just see it different. My ears are different. I hear that like just a token black nigga could get in. I ain't on no black trip. I'm just telling you what I honestly perceive. You're not doing us a favor. Doing us a favor is making sure the right person get the job. If I'm qualified, if it's 20 black people, then there should be 20 interviews. Just to say you're going to make sure that one black person get an interview, that's not really helping us. Not us, but black people as a general. That's not helping.
Well, with the Rooney Rule, and I get where you coming from, Mason. I'm not saying you're wrong, but basically they're saying you have to at least interview a black nigga because black niggas wasn't getting interviews at all. That's why the Rooney Rule came in effect. It was really one of them rules saying, God damn, can we get an interview? And Mace, you're right. It could be like, yo, let's get this black nigga in here so we can get him.
For the quota.
Yeah.
We let him in here.
Yeah, so we can hurry up and get him out.
Right.
But that was the real reason that the rule was set in place, because niggas wasn't even getting the fake let him in here so we can let him out type vibe. So I get exactly what you're talking about. Because the Rooney Rule doesn't mean you're going to get hired.
Yeah, it just means you're going to be interviewed. And Mike, to your credit, and you correct me if I'm wrong on this, they only brought in you can interview one black guy to say you can interview a woman too. It really wasn't for the black men. It was really to bring in a woman and let her get interviewed. And it's like 3-card Molly. You think I'm doing you a job when really I'm just trying to give her a job, and to get her the job I got to make it look like I'm giving you an interview. Look at the rule.
The rule's not new, but to be honest with you, the man or the woman don't have to get the job. You still could give it to the white person. It's just about interviewing the person saying that you got it. So that's your original statement is correct.
Correct.
So like saying, okay, we got to interview this chick. We got to interview this black person, and both of y'all could really get out of here. We really want to hire this white person. To be totally honest, go ahead, Mike, I'm sorry.
Right, correct. But what the rule is, and the spirit of it was that if these people that are making the decisions don't ever get to see a African American candidate, then we're stuck in this place. But you put them in front, and it has happened where actually guys get hired. You get an opportunity. We have to understand now, and what Mason's talking about, and he's right, and what Cam talking about, I understand both perspectives. Because on a major scale, a big company with opportunities in this company, you say I'm gonna hire one black person, and then okay, I'm gonna interview one black person to hire all white. That's one thing. But this is, I think, what I call one of the 32 jobs. And like I told you, that's POTUS, the President of the United States. When we talk about pressure places where it is win or get your butt out. I don't care. You didn't win. Let's go. That's what the NFL is. And that's what, so if you can get a guy as impressive as a young Mike Tomlin when he got the job, young as he was, in front of you, it's hard to walk away from a guy like that. And that's what he was saying. And to get these 32 owners open up their door and make sure they have to get some of these guys in there. Yeah, that's a great rule in this aspect. In the aspect where this is so small, so much pressure and everything. Now, if you put this on a Fortune 500 company where you're hiring 35, 40, 50 CEO or something like, managers or CEOs, and you want to interview one black, and you got 40 spots on one company, and you don't interview one black, and then that's what you're talking about. I understand. But there's only 32 positions here in the whole wide world. And all the riches of the white owned them and owned them forever. And they wasn't, so the rule I thought was a good rule from that perspective. But I understand and tried to explain your perspective
I kind of agree
also.
with Mason.
You're right.
Basically, it's just if you want to hire the black nigga, cool. But we just gonna say we did it.
Come on, Mike.
But the reason why it's called the Rooney Rule because they really obliged by it. The Steelers team really go by that. The other 31 teams maybe
give an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying, Mike, I could argue all day, right? Because the reality is this: even if you give the black head coach the job, but you don't give him the quarterback that he can win with, There's no power in that. When Sean Payton went there, he said, "No, I don't want Russell Wilson." And the next year, he had the quarterback he wanted. How many years Tomlin been there after Ben Roethlisberger and without getting the quarterback he needed? Come on now. So, you gave him the job as the black man. You didn't give him the pieces to really get the job done. He had Justin Fields. Then he had Russell Wilson. Then you give him an 80-years-old Aaron Rodgers. You're not trying to let him win. And then you say he been here for years. Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. When you talk about you putting people in a position where you're acting like they got power, but they don't have no power. And you're only putting them in a position to be just good enough. That's always been the argument. Just good enough. Just be good enough. Stat notice she grew up in Jacksonville. They want you right here. Just good enough. Don't try to go too far. You did good. Now come back in. That's how it's supposed to be. And anytime somebody start trying to do more and they're not under whatever that is called, because I don't know what it's called. I'm not under it. But anytime you go past that level, it's like, come here, let me talk to you. Or they got to put you with somebody that they can control what you're saying.
Oh, okay. You go too far out there, they're going to diddy you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to just leave it at that.
Well, great conversation all around.
Mike know what I'm talking about. See, he threw Diddy out there.
I know how you saying it. I know how you saying it, boy. Hey, boy. They go Diddy you, boy. Be a RICO case all by yourself. I know.
She's a RICO Dolo.
Y'all are hilarious.
A RICO Dolo, right.
Okay. Giants fans, y'all got a new head coach. We will discuss after the break. Welcome back. Now let's get into our underdog picks of the day. On Sunday, the Rams will play the Bears. Underdog has Caleb Williams at 223.5 passing yards. Do you have him higher or lower, Mace?
I'm going to go higher. I got to go higher for the young fella.
Yeah, I'm going to go higher as well. He's playing exceptionally well the last few weeks.
Okay. Matthew Stafford's at 270.5 passing yards. Do you have him higher or lower?
I don't know. That nigga Matthew Stafford said he liked playing in the cold. I don't know, man. That's a good one. He's playing well. It's going to be cold out there. It's going to be 9 degrees. I'm going to go lower.
Yeah, I was about to say that's cap. That's like somebody telling you.
Yeah, it's a lie. It's a lie.
Yeah, I got black friends.
It's a lie.
You know?
It's definitely a lie.
Got one.
It's been a long time since that boy been in the cold.
That nigga crazy.
Not even that. He played in the dome too. Even when he was in Detroit, that shit is a dome.
Right.
Yeah, he told me he played in the cold. Nah, we're not going with that, Matt. I'm going. What is it, Lower?
Okay. And Puka Nacua is at 100.5 receiving yards. Do you have him higher or lower, Mace?
I gotta go higher for Puka. You know?
Yeah, download the Underdog app, and you can make your picks too. And he's Polynesian, just to make that clear.
Right.
Okay. So,
Polynesian.
yes.
Real ball.
Yes.
Wait.
Boy.
Okay. So John Harbaugh and the Giants are working to finalize an agreement to make him their next head coach. Like Cam said earlier, the deal is not final and contract numbers still are being negotiated, but barring any setbacks, Harbaugh is ready to accept the Giants deal and the team is expected to hire him as soon as possible. Mike, this is breaking news. How should Giants fans feel? And then do you think that he's a good fit for the job?
I do. I think Coach Harbaugh is a good fit for any job, just a different voice wherever he goes. He's going to bring stability. The Giants have been looking for that stability. He can incorporate, some of the things he loves because this kid can also run, not quite like Lamar Jackson. I'm talking about Jackson Dart. But also, he had the concussions. You have to be careful with him. But yeah, I like this hire. And the Giants get a great defensive coach. And the Giants got some defensive talent. They got a great defensive talent. And you're going to bring back Malik Neighbors with Scatterboo all coming off injury. Yeah, this is going to give stability to those young, talented kids, young, talented men, and they can grow with this. And John Harbaugh straight enough that the New York media won't mess him up. So yeah, this is a good hire.
Yeah, I think this is perfect for John Harbaugh. Harbaugh. I was actually the one that thought about this, Mike, if you didn't notice. I thought that he would go to New York and it would be a great fit for exactly what you just said a few days ago. So I don't know if you remember that. But when it comes to this team, exactly some of what you said I agree with, but I think he could even take them to a new level, being that, last year or this year it seemed like they had the talent, but you need that coach that know the way to where they're trying to go. And he can give them even the right things to do over the summer. He could give them the right things to bring this to a team that maybe they could do exactly what we see happening in Chicago. And I think when you're a coach of his status, what better market to do it in? I don't think he fears the New York media. I think the New York media would take his legend to a whole nother level if he goes in there and perform very well. If he goes in there and does very well, then his name will go to new heights because there's nothing like doing it in the city of New York.
I think he took this job purely because the division sucks. Cowboys ain't shit. We see that the motherfucking Philadelphia Eagles, they've really been consistent, but we don't know what's going to happen with A.J. Brown. We thought that the Commanders would be ascending, but this year they fell back, and we don't know what's going on. I mean, hopefully, and I'm a fan of Jaden Daniels, hopefully he comes back strong, but this division is up for grabs, and he would look so good winning this division. Like, okay, when's the last time the Giants won this division? We know the Cowboys and Mike and everybody else think they're going to win it every year and they're going to go to the Super Bowl. But every year, this is our year. It just doesn't happen. And I think that the problems that's been underlined in Philadelphia are now coming to light. And I don't think A.J. Brown's going to be there. Me personally, I'm not sure. No. They fired their offensive coordinator. This is going to be Jalen Hurts' fifth coordinator since 2021. So I don't know if that's going to translate into wins for Philadelphia. And I think John Harbaugh is smart enough to see all of that. And he says, look, if I get the Giants to win the division and get them to the playoffs, I look way, way better doing this in New York than I did it in Baltimore. Not saying that we're going to the Super Bowl, but just winning the division and getting to the playoffs, that's a major accomplishment considering where the Giants have been the last few years.
Yeah, not
2011, Cam. The last year they won the division, 2011.
and
Yeah.
I also think every other place that he could have gone wouldn't give him much of a challenge. I think when you're thinking about the Titans, when you're thinking about the Browns, when you're thinking about all the other teams, these are not teams that could potentially even win. You know, if he did this at the Browns, it would be even. He wouldn't get much credit for it, but
Right.
doing it there in New York, I think is a gutsy move because even like what Killer said, what if Jaden Daniels come back and have a hell of a season, a comeback season? Then he's in trouble because you're already gonna have Philadelphia there. They can replace AJ. I know Killer was saying that, and then when you look at the Steelers, it could be a very tough time doing it there in New York.
Well,
So
either
it's a
way,
gutsy move.
yeah, Giants fans are real excited, so good luck to them because now they have something else to look forward to.
Other than the Knicks,
When these,
they're really gonna be expecting us to come home. They're gonna be expecting you to come home, Killer. They got
Yeah.
John Harbaugh.
New York is very underappreciative, man. They got a champion there, the Liberty. They don't want to celebrate them.
selective celebration.
Liberty just won the year before last. They ain't want to go to the parade or nothing.
That's
Shout out to the
selective
shout out to the WNBA, the Liberty. They just won a championship 2 years ago. Nobody came to the parade. They said the parade was sponsored by COVID. Nobody showed up. I thought that you ladies deserved the parade, and congratulations. I'm supporting.
Did you go, Cam?
I was here. I support the Aces too.
That's a question he would ask me.
I like the
Did you
Aces
go?
too. I'm an Aces fan as well.
Valid. Okay, now switching gears to basketball. So the Bucks lost to the Timberwolves 139 to 106 at home. The team didn't even have Anthony Edwards or Rudy Gobert playing. So fans decided to boo at Giannis, and Giannis decided to boo back. He commented on it later and said, "When I get booed, I boo back. I've been doing that all season. It doesn't matter. I play basketball for my teammates. I play basketball for myself and my family. When people don't believe in me, I don't tend to be with them. I tend to be against them." Bold comment from Giannis. Mike, what do you think of this mentality from the star player? Like, does this draw concerns? How are you feeling about him and his actions?
I don't know. It just seems like Giannis can get away with things like that. You know what I mean? It's just we'll let him slide. Giannis ain't no, he's just nice and he gets out here and laughs with you. Now, if for real, no saying something like that, booing back and all of that, be a whole different thing. Giannis, I just don't see they're going to make more of that. Like, take a John Morant with all he's going through. Now, say they boo him in Memphis and he boos right back. Oh, he got to go. He got to go. We got to get him out of here. I don't care how high he jumped. I don't care what he dunked. He has to go. But Giannis he's just lovable. He's nice, he's kind, and it's Milwaukee, So, yeah, that's interesting, though, because most Americans, we were like, yeah, hey, the crowd is, and you can't talk bad about the crowd. Don't do all of this. In them other countries, they get used to it, I guess. Like Giannis say, he boos back. So yeah, that's interesting. I wouldn't boo back. I wouldn't boo back. I'm gonna just take my boos. You know what I'm saying? But Giannis can do it. That's just funny. And he delivered a championship to his home to Milwaukee. So I'm like, what are you booing about? It ain't me. It's these other jokers around me. So yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I think they was booing him because of the way the team was playing, and I think he probably took it personal to him. But they have reasons to boo him also because he's a part of the team. Not to mention that he did have 25, but he also had 7 turnovers. If you're turning the ball over if you almost have double digits in turnovers, that's right for them to boo you, So they're expecting high play from him.
Man, no, wait. This man that delivered you a championship. So now, wait.
Okay.
Wait. He delivered the championship. He you hadn't replayed some of the guys he needs around him. People are talking about him being traded and all of that. And
Mike,
he's
they're
like, he got to do
17
what's
and
best.
23. 17
Right,
and
right. I
23
understand
ain't
that.
something to celebrate. I don't care who's on that
No.
team.
I understand that. I understand that. But how long was it before they had a championship that he delivered?
Uh,
It was way longer than the time it's been from the championship they just had.
Yeah, Mike, but the money came
If I
out the
remember.
account this week, you know? They can't go on what he did
Right.
5 years ago, Mike. You depleted our roster trying to get the players you want, and it didn't work out. We went and got Damian Lillard for you. We traded away all of our championship players for the people you
Drew.
thought we needed to contend. So when it doesn't go right and you end up holding the bag, they didn't make those decisions without complying with Giannis. You better believe this wasn't one of those Rooney rules. This right here, he had power. He had his brother on the team. You had your uncle on the team, for crying out. You know, not his uncle, but you get what I'm saying? He got his family on the team, and if this team is not playing well, you don't get to say it with somebody else. You had a lot of people on this team. That's what I think. Not a lot, but too many.
I think both you guys are correct. I think both you make some great points. Mace is saying, what have you done for me lately? That's basically what Mace is saying. And Mike,
Right.
you're 100% correct as well. Look, the last championship y'all got was with a nigga named Lou Alcindor. Y'all know him as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The nigga name was Lou Alcindor when that nigga won a championship. So don't act like I ain't get you one this century. I got you one this decade, nigga. So I agree totally with both you guys, 100%. And look, I both of you guys are right. And what's really going on is Giannis wants out. So he's pushing the button. He's a wrestler that's turning into a bad guy. You know how you watch wrestling? Because he's walking. I don't know if you guys
used to be a good guy.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all seen the clip. He's walking around like this in the arena. Yeah. He's on the floor. He falls on the floor. He's on the floor like this. Yeah, I'm like, he's turning into the bad guy of wrestling. So basically, they like, yo, we gotta get this nigga out of here. He's tripping. But to Mace's point as well, like, yo, my nigga, right now, both his brothers is on the team.
Yeah, we should be even.
Yeah.
I got both of your brothers on the team.
Yeah, both of your brothers is on the team.
Man.
As we currently speak, we got your family, the visas to get over here. And at the same time, you have to realize this, Milwaukee.
Did they get his family a visa?
They got him over here, yes. But
And we even
They
now.
got everybody over here.
Come on, killer. We even by now.
yo, I'm just saying, what I'm saying is this. I'm not saying that you're wrong. What I'm saying is this. This is a way for him to force his way out. He's been talking about, he's been seeing nigga walking around New York City and shit and walking through Manhattan, talking about he looking at houses in Long Island. What did you looking at houses in Long Island for? You understand what I'm saying? So to me, this is part of the process of him saying, I got to get the fuck out of here. And Milwaukee, you have to realize this. This is not a big market. It's a small market. So you also want to put asses in seats if you do get rid of Giannis or Giannis ends up leaving because, you know, you have a all-star there. Not just an all-star, a perennial all-star, a champion,
MVP.
in the finals MVP there. It's going to be hard to replace that. So to me, if I'm front office in Milwaukee, I'm not even entertaining it. Like, yo, listen, until something real comes on the table, let me know. Because even if you get, let's say, for instance, and I'm not saying New York could do it because
Towns.
I was saying if you get Towns, he's not a star to me like Giannis. Even though he can shoot the three, he can spread the floor out. Giannis is like a different type of, you know, he got more swag to me, my personal opinion. I don't think Karl Anthony Towns could be a star in Milwaukee like Giannis is a star in Milwaukee. And to me, Giannis could be a star wherever he goes, my personal opinion. Star quality counts.
Would you give up OG and Towns for Giannis?
If I'm Milwaukee, no. I need to sell tickets. Not saying that maybe it wouldn't equal out in talent-wise, but at the same time.
But he was asking you if you're in New York. If you're in New York, would you do it? If he was asking if you're in New York.
If I'm New York, I like Giannis. I got to do what I got to
Right
do.
now.
Yeah, I got to do
Right
what I got
now.
to do.
You're going to do it. You're going to
I got
do
to
it
do
right
what I got
now.
to do to get
Right.
Giannis. Yes. If I'm
Giannis
New
and
York,
Jalen be crazy.
yeah, I got to do what I got to
Right.
do to get Giannis. If I'm New York, yes.
Okay.
Right now.
So shifting gears to another player, because there's just a lot going on in the NBA right now. So Anthony Davis is expected to undergo surgery to repair ligament damage in his left hand and is expected to miss several months. So he's only been able to play 29 regular season games since he's arrived in Dallas. And then in response to accounts saying he would be out for months, Anthony Davis tweeted, "Y'all better stop listening to all these lies on this app." So mind you, all this is happening amid trade rumors because people are saying Anthony Davis might be traded. He might go here. He might go to the Hawks. There's a lot of different things. What are your expectations for AD, Mike?
I don't know how to build expectations for AD. You really don't, because like you just said, you don't know when he's going to be on the court. And when he is on the court, listen, he's a phenomenal player, phenomenal talent. But I watch AD, and every time he takes a step, I'm worried about him hurting himself because I don't know. It's just like how he is. He walks. He looks like he's going to hurt himself. He really does, and it's amazing. It's amazing because I used to think like certain people that get hurt all the time. Maybe it's something you're not training, you're not stretching well enough, you're not doing it. But you get these guys like Anthony Davis. This is a gifted, tall, lanky athlete, and he looks a little sometimes disjointed and clumsy, and stepped the wrong way. So yeah, it's just it's hard. He's one of the most talented players in the NBA. And if he had been playing all his career, everywhere he's gone, this has been. You worry about this more than anything. This part right here, best ability. When you talk about all of his abilities, what do you guys talk about all the time? What's the best ability?
Availability.
Availability. And that's the ability that seemed to escape him like I don't know what. Availability. This joker big, he can shoot, he can dribble, he can back you down, he can do everything. He has the ability to do everything except be available. The availability. That's the issue.
Yeah, I'm looking at his injury list, right? And his injury list is too long. It seemed like a ticket for the cleaners, right? Like you put so many things in there. If we were to put this on the screen, it looked like about 12 or 13 injuries, and this is just in the last 16 months, not even 18.
Right.
This is just, I'm talking about hand growing, illness, calf, leg, Achilles growing, abductor growing. It's like, this is too much. Like, and especially when you traded Luka for this is getting carried away. I don't know. Maybe this is just a play that people use to get where they need to go in the NBA, or to wait until Kyrie comes back. You don't want to play without Kyrie. I don't know what the mindset is, but I think he's damaged his stock being injured so much. Me personally, I think he's a phenomenal talent. Always been. It's never been a question of his talent. It's always been a question of his durability. And I think sometimes the durability start evading the talent. Like we've seen that so many times in the NBA. But when the money's coming in, you just can't see the money not coming in. And I think you need to seriously start considering this. Even though he's at a very high productive level, he's at 20-11. But what could he be if he didn't get hurt so much is the question.
I'm not doing this every 2-3 weeks for Anthony Davis. He's always hurt. I'm not doing this. What are we doing? He's talking about we wait for Kyrie coming. If nigga did it with LeBron for 5 years, I'm not doing this. I'm not commenting on Anthony Davis. What I will say is this, Mike, you live in Dallas. You a Dallas fan. Niggas gonna fire Nico. Nico gonna do this. Ownership should be ashamed of themselves to allow that shit to happen with the Luka situation. Because now look, we already knew this potentially could happen. Kyrie's hurt. Anthony Davis we knew that this was probably a 70% chance this could happen. Not saying Cooper Flag isn't doing well for a rookie. He's doing exceptionally well for a rookie, but he's not the nigga that y'all thought was going to come in here and take over the Western Conference as a young rising star. Look, man, ownership and should be ashamed of themselves because they let Nico, and no disrespect to Finley too. I like Finley. I love you. You're cool nigga, and especially if you're playing. But y'all got away with this trading Luka. Why would you do this? And now look where you're at. It's fucked up. I'm not commenting on anything. I'm sick of him. We knew he was going to get hurt. This is not nothing new.
His total injury history on one report is 296 times that he called in either sick or hurt.
That's 19 seasons.
He got 20 Achilles tendons. Yeah. 16 times he reported his calf. This list is crazy.
I will just add, though, because I know y'all are getting on him, and I'm not making excuses, but it also just happens to be an unfortunate situation. And I know injuries are, like, inevitable. You can't really do much about that, but it's not like we haven't been able to see his ceiling and his potential. It's just like he does keep getting hurt. So I know you're like, man, I don't care about Anthony Davis, but it's also like, damn, like, what is he supposed to do?
Nah, you know what it's like, Stat? It's like you got the dopest car in your driveway, but the shit keep breaking down.
Yeah.
Like
sometimes you come out, it don't start up.
Yeah, then it might.
How you gonna feel about that?
Yeah, you stuck at the red light, and now you in traffic with a dope car, and everybody just looking at it and
blowing the horn at you. Beep, beep, beep.
You waiting on the tow truck.
Great analogy, because you can't use the car. Can't use it, so y'all are right. But hopefully he gets healthy. I will always say that because it's unfortunate. And I know Mike being a Mavs fan, like you want to be able to see him play. So hopefully they figure it out. Okay. So some boxing breaking news. So an arrest warrant has actually been issued for Tank Davis in connection with an alleged domestic violence incident from October. The warrant has been issued on charges including false imprisonment, battery, and attempted kidnapping. I know a lot of people were waiting for that Tank fight versus Jake Paul, which then had to be rescheduled, which in return Jake Paul fought Anthony Joshua. Mike, what is your opinion on all the things that have been surrounding Tank, and then what are your expectations for him?
Wait, before you go to Mike, is this a new girl or this?
I don't know if it's a new girl. It might be that same girl. I will figure that out for you.
I'm saying, is this the one that happened
like the first
for the Jake Paul fight, or is this after the Jake Paul?
I don't know where to go. Where to go with, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, it's just really, this is it. I'm sure, he's a high-strung person, and he's a boxer. You can't get into this thing with some high-strung, it's like, what are we talking about here? Well, I want to see the man fighting in the ring. I don't want to hear about this kind of fighting outside the ring. You know what I mean? I just don't want to hear about it. And it's these relationships, man, where they're all, it's what I call the F and F relationship. We fight hard on this hand, and then we make up and hard on this hand. And it's going to get you in situations. That's why I'm saying, is it the same person? And you're going back and forth with it. I don't know enough about it. I'm just saying, man. If you got to be fighting them all over every place and holding them and trying to kidnap them and they trying to get out and whatever's calling that person, man, you can't kidnap them. Let them go. Just let it go. Let it all go. Let it go and get back to your career. That's what I say. Get back in the gym and get back to your career.
Yeah, I really think when it comes to this situation, it's super unfortunate because he's such a talent. He's such a talent in the ring. But right. I think we also got to stop making excuses for people. This is just totally uncalled for. You cannot be dragging women out the club by their hair. You just can't be doing that. And if somebody doesn't want to be with you, you got to have the wherewithal to walk away and find the one that does want to be with you. Like I said before, I really pray that, like, whatever is going on with him is beyond boxing, Just like there's a lot of things going on with people that we just brush off because they got great talent. And I think we do them a disservice. I think I saw him one time doing an interview, and he said he want to go into therapy so he could be better for his daughters. And that's the Gervonta we need to see. If that takes
I'm with
something
that.
away from you in
I'm with that,
boxing,
Ken.
you got to take that journey. I had to walk away from music for 5 years just to deal with stuff that I want to deal with in the way I think and what I'm going through. So therefore, you can't put nothing better before your health. You got to put that first.
And Mace, that's a perfect way of saying it. You know what I mean? Right. If anything, if you get to the point with anything or anybody that's disturbing your health,
Yes.
by disturbing your peace, however, dude, and when you showing and you walk away, you gotta try best you can to walk away. If you gotta snatch somebody out the club, and I don't know, y'all saying he dragged out the club by a hair?
And
Whoa.
you know that we've grown up seeing people do this. You know where you're escorting her out, but you're not escorting her out by a hair.
Right.
Example.
And I'm saying the law is against their will. You can take somebody around the corner against their will is kidnapping. So when she
Yeah.
said, no, I don't want to go, you got to let go. That's it. Okay, I see. I tell you, you got to move.
And sometimes you want to help people that don't let you help them, right? Because I want to put some respect on the people around him name. Because, you know, people may ask them, well, why didn't you do something, coach this or this trainer? Why didn't you do something? And sometimes as artists, as entertainers, that people get so rich and so empowered that you can't change that about them. You know, you're not in that position of power. Like we was talking about before. You can talk, but you don't have no power in the decision. So even them, they have to have the wherewithal and respect and integrity to walk away from a person if they're doing things that are detrimental to people. We can't just stay around stuff and then just act like, oh, we ain't have nothing to do with it. You are, as a man, you're responsible that if you got daughters, you got sisters, it can't be cool until it happened to your daughter or your sister.
Okay, and last thing before we wrap, we're going to get into the NFL Divisional Round. Just want a quick prediction from y'all of who you think is going to win. Mike, you're going to go first, starting with the Bills versus the Broncos.
Great game, but I'm looking at the Bills, looking at the Broncos. That defense, cornerbacks are going to take out the passing game. You'll have to drop all 9 other defenders in the box to stop Josh Allen. I'm taking the Broncos to win this game at home.
Okay, Mace.
I was going to take the Broncos because of Bo Nix, but now that Mike took the Broncos, I got to go with New York. We back, baby. Cam, you could come home.
This nigga had
Yeah.
just stay in Kansas City, man. Look, put it like this. I want the Bills to win, but it doesn't seem like Josh Allen has a lot of help. Seems like he's doing everything by himself. And the Broncos defense is really, really good. I think it's not saying it's, well, I don't know where they're ranking. I remember looking yesterday, Texans were number 1, but I know that they're really good, and they didn't get a bye for anything. I'm going to pick the Broncos, even though my heart wants the Bills to win.
Okay, next, Texans versus Patriots. Mike.
This game here, I think it's going to be a great game because this game is in New England, and this is 2 great defenses. The Texans' defense has been off the chart. But now, whenever you're talking about putting together a particular game plan to stop a particular team in a week's time, nobody's better than that.
New England.
Than the Patriots. Nobody's better than that than the Patriots. And I believe that Bravo will have something for a young C.J. Stroud, and he'll throw a late game interception in Pittsburgh. And the Patriots end up winning this game.
Man, since Chapel Hill been good to us, North Carolina, and Drake May from North Carolina, I'm going with the New England Patriots, man.
When was Chapel Hill good to us? What are you talking? What are you referring to? What are you talking about?
Cam.
What do you mean Chapel Hill? You found out Drake May's from North Carolina, and now Chapel Hill's been good to us. What are you talking about, bro? How's Chapel Hill been good to us?
Cam, did you make a lot of money in North Carolina?
Yeah, I did. But
Yeah, we got a lot of fans in North
I
Carolina.
made a lot of money, a lot of states.
Yeah,
man.
but North Carolina was the first place we started getting money.
I thought Philly was.
Yeah, Philly was.
I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
Yeah, two places could be true.
I'm going with the Patriots to win the game.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, 49ers versus
so
Seahawks.
funny,
Who you
boy.
got?
Listen, the 49ers can't have any more left in them. I mean, Kittle's gone now. They've been patching people up and putting people on the field. Just a couple weeks ago, this game was played in San Francisco. Seahawks won 13-3. And they had Kittle then. I don't imagine this game now being in Seattle that the 49ers have any chance at beating the Seahawks. I'm taking the number one rank in this division, the NFC, Seahawks to win.
I think it would be just like the football gods to let Sam Darnold get his leg back. Pause. I think it's gonna be the Seahawks.
I would go with the Seahawks and the 12th man up in there, Seattle, but I'm gonna go with Kyle Shanahan. Even though they're depleted, Mike made a great. Even though they're depleted, that man know how to dial it up, man. You know, that shit he did last week with the nigga threw the touchdown. I forget the nigga threw the touchdown to McCaffrey. First of all, you got receivers throwing touchdowns to running backs. I think that nigga nice. That nigga football mind is nice, and I think they had a week to prep, and also I don't think that they liked the way the regular season ended because that made them lose home field advantage. Everything points to Seattle, but I'm going with 49ers.
Okay, and last one, Mike, Rams versus Bears.
And it's the one. It's a funny one because we were joking about it earlier. We're saying your boy Matthew Stafford talking about he likes the cold. You've been playing in domes your whole life. That's it. That worries me. That you're saying that early in the week. You know what I mean? So that means you got the whole week to think about it, man. Now, the one thing I want to say too, though, that worries me even more than that is what is Chicago? It's not just going to be cold. What do we call Chicago?
The Windy
City.
Yep.
The Windy City. That wind swirls like I don't know what. And the Rams throw the ball to win the game. Now, two things are true, just like you just said, Mace. In that same Windy City, the Bears like to come from behind, which means you have to throw the ball. So we're putting this thing in a pass situation, even though everybody, and me too, love what Caleb Williams is doing. He ain't ready to take down the MVP of the NFL right now. I'm going to take the Rams. It's the only away team I say will win. The other three home teams will win.
That's crazy, Mike. I'm putting all stock pause in the new hotness. I'm going with new hotness. I'm going with Caleb Williams to get it done. Caleb, don't make me look bad. I'm going from Titletown, letting them know that Caleb Williams is gonna get it done. Don't make me be the second hip hop artist you let down. Come on.
I'm going with the Rams. Mike, you made a great point about the win, and you know what's crazy is that I listened to a take with Tom Brady. I don't know if people seen it. I was like, Tom Brady's the fucking goat. I know Troy Aikman should go. But Tom Brady did a whole take on how to throw in the win. I don't know if you've seen that, Mike.
Yes.
I
saw that. I saw that. That was a good one.
Yeah, he was showing how you have to have the ball lowered and then you have to have it centered and pause. And he was like, you throw it down because if you have it angled up, the wind takes it away. I'm like,
wind catch that thing and go.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, this is, to a casual football fan such as myself, this is real good intel. I'm like, yo, that's why this nigga's the GOAT. I was sitting there, look at this nigga acting like he won 7 Super Bowls or something, letting us know how to throw the ball in the wind. And then I seen Steve Young doubled down on that because he basically said Matthew Stafford's a liar acting like he want to play in the cold, as opposed to saying he'd rather play in the rain or the wind because you can control how you throw in the wind and the rain, even though it's a little slippery. But the cold, nobody wants to play in the cold. And that's what Steve Young was talking about as well. But if anybody going to get it done, I'm going to say I'm going with Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Caleb Williams been playing in USC just as well the last 4 years. So it isn't like he's used to playing in super duper cold in Chicago either.
Okay. Well, I recorded all y'all's responses.
So Mike
go ahead, Mike.
Mike said he going with
one last thing though, Cam. When Tom Brady was describing that, I thought to be funny as hell at the end of it, because it's a beautiful description. You hold that ball up, it catches the wind. You know, I thought when he threw it back, he'd have said, unless you deflate it a little bit. As funny as I don't know.
You got it.
That would have been funny, man, if he had said that. But it's crazy.
Okay, so we will check back Monday morning to see if you guys' predictions were correct. I did record everything, so we will see what happens. But that is all the time that we have for today. Mike, you know, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, Mike.
Always good to be here on the show. Appreciate you guys. I appreciate you. Cam, send me that, that package.
Yeah. I'm going to text you. I got you.
So,
okay.
Yeah, don't just wear it on your chest. Let me see it.
Hey, yo, Mike.
I got you, bro. I'm gonna send it to you. I got you.
All right, get out, man.
Okay. Thank y'all for watching, and as always, it is what it is.